With me now, Democratic Congresswoman Katherine Clark of Massachusetts. She is also the Democratic whip. Thank you so much for getting up bright and early for us this morning. Let's start here with the surprise announcement that right-wing podcaster Dan Bongino will be the deputy director of the FBI. In 2021, he accused members of the FBI, as well as the CIA, of unquestionably trying to rig the 2016 and 2020 elections. He called the FBI and the CIA corrupted intelligence community. What do you think of the Bongino pick?
Let me tell you that this administration is replacing people of merit, people who are patriots, with loyalists. And what happens? The security of the American people is being threatened, and they understand it. They see it in what's happening in the economy. They see it in what's happening in the federal workforce when they are looking at delays in Social Security checks, in IRS refunds, real implications of what they are doing to the federal workforce when you replace it with the criteria that you have unfailing loyalty to Donald Trump.
I want to ask you about this because the president's also replacing the head of the U.S. Navy, a position held by Admiral Lisa Franchetti, the first woman to lead a military service. He fired the nation's highest-ranking military officer, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Air Force General C.Q. Brown, highly decorated and seasoned leader who also happens to be a black man, and replace him with someone who has not served in any of the roles that nominees are legally required to have performed in order to be nominated. What's happening here?
What's happening here is corruption. And what we are seeing, again, is Donald Trump and Elon Musk saying, let's fire everybody who's doing their job in order to pass tax cuts for billionaires. And while they're doing it, they are trying to erode the very people who have risen through the ranks of our military and who have earned positions of power because of their expertise and experience, and replacing them with people who are saying, I will go along with our now self-proclaimed King Trump. And it is why you are seeing the numbers for this president that are so shocking around the economy, because he has betrayed what he said he would do. It's focus on the American people, bringing down the costs of groceries and housing. And what he's doing instead is taking away their health care with a sleight of hand to give it to the very wealthiest and largest corporations in this country for a tax cut. That's what's on the floor this week, which is so outrageous and such a betrayal of people. Let me tell you one story from my district. A constituent who is dealing with a husband who has early onset dementia. She is trying to work and care for her husband at the same time. She can't do it without Medicare. And so when those cuts that Donald Trump has given the sign off to the House to go forward with this week hit home, Elon Musk is going to be okay because he can be cocooned in his enormous wealth. But the people of my district, of Republican constituents who voted for them, are not going to be okay. They are being asked to foot this tax bill to benefit Elon Musk.
Congresswoman, you're talking about the $880 billion that House Republicans are looking at to cut from Medicaid, and that is something that is in their bill for the budget. And there is a lot of concern, you're saying, with your constituents surrounding this and what that might mean. I do want to ask you this. Some latest polling that has come out that says 73% of Democrats or Democratic leaders believe their party is not doing enough. Since Democrats do not control the House or the Senate, what is your plan to try to give Donald Trump some checks and balances?
First, let me tell you, you got to understand how frustrated people are watching what is happening with this administration and with the unvetted, unelected, richest man in the world running roughshod across our personal data and making, threatening the basic services that they provide. So what we're doing is meeting this moment in 3 specific ways. First, we understand that we are the minority party in the House and the Senate, and they have the White House. And what we have seen is cowardice from House Republicans who won't stand up for their constituents because they don't want to step out of line. So we are calling out the illegal and unconstitutional acts that we are seeing in the courts. That's our first line of defense. Over 78 cases have already been brought, and we are winning and holding Elon Musk and Donald Trump accountable. Second, we are using the legislative tools that we have. We're clear-eyed that we're in the minority, but they have a very slim majority in the House. So we're putting bills on the floor that would say to Elon Musk, get out of our tax data, get out of our healthcare data. You do not legally belong in those systems, threatening the privacy and security of our constituents. And we are asking and putting pressure on 3 Republicans. That's all it takes to have the courage to stand up for the people who sent them to Washington and say no to this. Say no to stealing their hard-earned tax dollars that we all want spent efficiently and handing it over to the billionaire class in this country.
Do you have any sense that any of those
action
Republicans
point,
that you're... let me just quickly ask you, do you have any sense that the Republicans you're putting pressure on will actually, change their minds? Are they giving you any indication of that?
What I see is a lot of talk in the background from them about empathy for the veterans who are losing their benefits, for the people on Social Security who are terrified. They're saying murmurings around this, but they are missing the moment here that they need to stand up for American people, stand up for their constituents. And we just see cowardice. We just see them bowing to Trump, bowing to the fear that Elon Musk will fund a primary opponent for them. And is there any red line that they won't cross? Is there anything that they won't give from their constituents to the billionaire class because Donald Trump told them so? So far, we haven't seen a single sign of actual courage and vote. Let's see what happens this week. I hope we find a few who will stand up and say, this isn't going to be on my watch.